What is up, guys? Sophia here, and I am back with another video. If you are new, then don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can stay updated on all of my content. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, such as my book for single women, as well as some of my other products, my book for single moms. So just go to the description box to check all of that information out. So what we are going to be talking about today is how to tell if a man is wasting your time and how to avoid this if possible. So why is this so important? Because I have to explain to y'all the essence of time, right? When you think about time, they always say your time is valuable. I'm going to say that your time is invaluable because you can't put a price tag on your time because it's something that you can never get back. The time that you are watching this video, you can't never get it back. The time that I am making this, that it takes to make this video, you can never get it back. So why am I saying that? I am telling you that because it is important to waste your time. I don't even want to say waste, to spend your time with people who value your time, and that's not going to waste it. I cannot tell you how many women I have seen in relationships or stay in situationships with men who are blatantly wasting their time for years and years and years on end, only for it to not go anywhere. And then all of a sudden they're up here feeling all jilted, upset, and this, that, and the third, when realistically speaking, you do have to take some responsibility for not seeing the signs of somebody wasting your time, or if a man is wasting your time or not. Because the longer that you spend, especially if it gets into years, in a relationship with somebody who is not for you, who do not want to be with you, and somebody who is wasting your time, that is the longer that you could actually be keeping yourself away from somebody who don't want to waste your time, who do want to be with you, right? So that's why it's important to weed this stuff out in the beginning. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first one is that if he is ambiguous about a future with you, operative word is with you. So some of the stuff that I have here, and I'm going to give you an example of things that men have said to me where I can determine if they were wasting my time. I have had a man say, "Oh, you would make somebody a great wife one day." Notice he said somebody a great wife one day. He didn't say him a great wife one day. So it's ambiguous about the future with you, meaning that he could say, "Oh, one day I want to get married." Or if they're always talking about what they want to do and is not including you in those plans, right? So just like the Bible verse says in Amos 3:3, I actually want to point this out. It says, "Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so?" So it's kind of like, how can you walk together or move forward into marriage? I think that that's y'all's goal, right? If you have not agreed to do so. So if somebody is always planning their future without you, or if you ask, "Oh, where do you see your future with me?" And they say, "Well, I don't know. I don't really have goals. Let's just live in the moment." Those sort of things, then you should be aware that your time is probably being wasted, because somebody who is not going to waste your time is going to make very vivid plans with you so that y'all can move together for the future together. So what this would look like if a guy was not wasting your time. "Oh, when we get married, I see our marriage looking like X." "Oh, what do you want in a relationship, or what do you want in a marriage? Do you want to buy a house? How about we start saving up for that now so that when we get married or when we get together, then we'll have X." Things like that, where you could see somebody is planning a future with you through concrete actions, right? So a man can say, "Oh, I want to marry you one day." That's not really a concrete action. A concrete action is saying, "Oh, I want to marry you within the next 2 years or next year." And then 9 months later, they give you an engagement ring to show their intent. These are concrete plans to show that they have intentions with you. Anything that is ambiguous, that does not include you, you should be concerned. The second is feeds you crap dressed up in rationale. This can also be like gaslighting, because there are so many men who are famous for this, that realistically speaking, they are feeding you a complete load of crap, and they feeding you a load of crap, or it sounds like a load of crap, but they'll try to dress it up in intellectualism and feed you all this. "Oh, well, the patriarchy says that we are supposed to be monogamous, or we're not supposed to be monogamous. And so therefore I have decided that polyamory and open love is the way." That's crap dressed up in nonsense, right? What he is saying is that he want to sleep with other people and he don't see himself committing to you. So other examples of that could be, oh, I don't want to get married because I feel like the government system doesn't own me and they can't define who I love, or marriage is just a piece of paper, and why should we have to get it? If we know each other and we're married in our hearts, then that's all that matters. That type of stuff that sounds really nice, but when you peel back the covers, you really realize that this man is not giving you what you want. And I also have a video that I'm going to link down below on why marriage is not a piece of paper. So if any man is feeding you that nonsense, you can understand why being married and having that protection is beneficial for you, right? But realistically speaking, a lot of women fall into this trap of, oh, I love you and I treat you like my wife anyway, but we don't need to get married to express our love. Who are we trying to prove ourselves to? Those type of things. Don't fall for it. He's wasting your time and don't get caught up into the fancy words or him trying to dress up some intellectual mumbo jumbo to try to justify the fact that he's wasting your time. He's wasting your time, period. Number 3, they won't commit to you. So what this looks like is, and I've seen this in numerous ways because I used to have a lot of guy friends, and even I have seen male friends with their girlfriends living together, have no intention of marrying the girl, and they will propose to her just to continuously waste her time. So I'm going to give you a scenario of what this looks like as far as commitment, because men will get away with what you allow them to get away with. So if you are dating a man and you're not in a relationship, right, and you require a relationship, he can either say, oh, I just feel like we need to keep our open love, or I don't like titles, or something like that. These are red flags that he is wasting your time. If he really wants to keep you but still waste your time, yes, he may commit to you, and he may say, okay, this is my girlfriend. And then guess what? After that, when you require marriage, then he's probably going to say, oh, but why do we have to get married? That doesn't define our love. Or he may even give you an engagement ring. And here's how you know if he's wasting your time with the engagement ring, because I have had several women friends that men have done this too. They will either buy a small or crappy ring, knowing daggone well that they can afford a bigger one, just because they don't want to waste their money on something that they know is not going to be long standing or permanent. Or they will keep, like, if you're engaged for 8, 9, 10 years, that sort of thing, then he is wasting your time. Realistically speaking, you can determine however long that you want to sit around and wait for somebody. This can also vary based on age. Obviously, if you are 19 or 20 years old, you can probably be more patient about getting married. You may not want to get married as young as opposed to if you're like older, like 35 plus, right? But if it's getting into the years for all ages and you don't have a commitment and you don't have a ring and that is what you want, then he is wasting your time. And once again, this is why I believe so much in celibacy, because it really does prevent men from wasting your time, because most men are not going to go without sex for that long. So if they really want you, then they're either going to commit to you and marry you and give you what you want, or if they are wasting your time, they're going to move on and they're not going to carry out years and years and years of wasting your time, because most of the time when men do that, they're just doing it because they still want to sleep with you or have the benefits that you're providing, the wifely benefits, right? And you're not a wife. Sometimes you may not be a girlfriend. They want to hang on to you to keep the benefits of your body, knowing daggone well that they're not going to give you what you want in the end, and that when they're kind of over it or they have found someone else to give them those sexual benefits, then that's who they're going to move on to. And that's why I say if you celibate, you don't have to worry about all that, right? So the fourth one is that they're wasting your time, is that they are hot and cold on purpose. Love bombing and then gaslighting. The love bombing is to draw you in and is to keep you there, right? And then when you're in a situation of like, oh, okay, this relationship is going well, he's treating me good, I really see us together, then he'll probably gaslight you and be like, no, I don't want to get married, or I don't see us together, or I need some space. And then 2 weeks or whatever might go by, and then they'll come back and then they're all lovey-dovey again. That is very hot and cold behavior, because the hot behavior is once again to get what they want, to have the relationship benefits, the sex, to have you acting nice. And then the gaslighting is to stop the illusion, right? So once they're love bombing and you feel like, yes, this is it, and I feel like this person really loves me, and you're like, what's the next step? Then they're like, ho, 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 I don't want a next step. And then they'll start gaslighting you and make you feel like you're delusional about what you're seeing in a relationship with them. They might even disappear, and then they'll come back with the love bombing again and start the cycle over, leaving you very confused as to why they're love bombing and gaslighting. But realistically speaking, it's just a way to kind of waste your time, because if you're always stuck in this cycle, then you're never moving forward. You're just stuck in one spot of the loving, him ghosting or disappearing or gaslighting or acting distant, love bombing, and then doing this. And you're just doing that over and over again. And all that's to distract for the fact that nothing is really going on or moving forward in your relationship. The last one is he encourages you to wait around. And that can be either verbally or that can be through his behavior. So encouraging you to wait around would be like, oh, I am working on my career right now. I have this business. I am doing X, Y, and Z. And then maybe in about 5 years, I will be ready to settle down. You can sit around and wait around for 5 years if you want to, but I don't recommend anybody doing that, because if a man wants to be with you and he wants to marry you, he is going to do that. All of that other stuff is just an excuse, right? If he is now, if he's like homeless or something, then that's different. You shouldn't be with him anyway. He got a whole bunch of other slew of issues that he needs to work out. Like if his life is just not together, he should not be in a relationship. But I'm talking about for people who have their stuff together and they keep on with this excuse of, oh, I have to do this before I get married. I have to do this before I get married. I have to do this before I get married. All of that is just holding you on with a string so that you can say to yourself, okay, well, when he's done doing X, or when he's done doing this, or when he's done doing that, then that's when he'll get around to me. When realistically speaking, that's not the case. He just wants to keep you around and he just feeding you a whole bunch of excuses. He can also say something like, we could just be friends now, or we could be this now, and when in the future we could see where things go. In the next year or two, we could see where things go. Maybe I'll be in a different space. Like anything to, because there's always like an end goal in terms of how can I put this? There's always like, oh, if a few years, then this may happen. But the caveat to that is that you would have to wait the time that they're giving you, and then you would have to hope that once that time comes around that they're going to be ready. Which they're probably not going to be ready. They're just going to give you another excuse and tell you about how much they have been working or all this other type of mumbo jumbo that men feed to women. But at the end of the day, understand this. Men make time for who they want to make time for. I have never seen a man who was working and working and working so much that he didn't have time to go on vacation with his friends when he didn't want to, or he didn't have time to spend time with his friends when he wanted to. He didn't have time, or he could go to the bar when he wanted to. It's like so often women fall into this, oh, he doesn't have time because he's doing this. But if you really look at the man's behavior, they are still going out. They're still going to bars. They're still going out with their friends. They're still going on vacation. They're still doing all this other type of stuff. And realistically speaking, what they're really saying is, I don't have time for you. People make time for what they want to make time for because they don't want to lose it. And so if somebody is not making time for you, I don't care how legitimate their excuse seems to be. It is just that, an excuse to waste your time and to keep you around so that whenever they whenever they finish doing all this other stuff that they're doing in their life, then they can come to you, get what they want, and then be like, oh, okay, I'm busy. I have to do this. And then when you're trying to call them or try to go on a date, they're like, well, I told you I was busy. I don't have time. But yet and still, whenever they're quote unquote not busy, they want to come to you and expect you to give up all of your time and your body and your energy to them only when they are ready for you to do so. And it's never like the other way around. Like they're never around when you want them around, only when they want to be around. That is an indication that they are wasting your time. All right, guys, so these are the 5 tips that a man is wasting your time. I hope that you are able to recognize them, and I hope that you don't get trapped into the mix. And if you are in this situation, then go ahead and leave, because trust and believe that he is wasting your time. Don't forget to check the description box, and I will talk to you guys another day, another time. Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.